We'll come back to this in next couple of minutes. Hi guys, so most of you know that on 16th of March 2020, the government of Canada announced that they are not going to allow foreign nationals to enter inside Canada. And they implemented this decision on 18th of March 2020. Now, as soon as this announcement was made, there was a lot of chaos everywhere and a lot of questions were left unanswered. Fortunately, in the last 72 hours, there have been a series of developments and a lot of announcements and updates have come in from various departments of the government like IRCC, CBSA, Canada Border Services Agency, Ministry of Transportation, and as of today, which is 20th of March, 20th of March 2020, uh, the government has made an announcement that there are some exemptions to this foreign travel ban, which was announced on 16th of March 2020. The government has made an announcement that they are going to exempt certain categories of foreign nationals on whom this ban was imposed previously, which is a good news. Now we'll discuss more about that in next couple of minutes. Now this video is divided into two different parts. In the first part, we will discuss about some technical details and the deadlines. And in the second part, I will share some do's and don'ts, which are based on my personal opinion. Let's get started. Now, speaking of the exemptions that are applicable to students, the government says that if you had a valid study permit or if your study permit application was approved on the day when these restrictions were imposed, which is 18th of March 2020, then you can come to Canada. So that's the exemption that is applicable to students. So if I were to give an example, let us say if someone was inside Canada on a study permit and the person had gone to, let's say, India on a vacation, for a short vacation, and then the person was planning to come back, but then he or she was stuck back in India. So with these exemptions, that particular person can come to Canada. Same is applicable for workers. Right now, the Canadian government is saying that they need foreign workers to boost the Canadian economy. So anyone who has a valid work permit is part of this exemption. Okay, now let us talk about people who had submitted their PR applications and had already received approvals, or they were already in receipt of their COPR document, confirmation of permanent residence document, and the single entry visa. So in the previous video, I had mentioned that because you have not yet completed your landing process, you are still foreign nationals, and hence the ban was applicable to you guys as well. But with these exemptions in place, you can now come to Canada. So the government is saying that if you had received your PR application approvals before 16th of March 2020, then yes, you fall under these exemptions. Now let us talk about immediate family members of PR or Canadian citizens. Anyone who is a spouse or they have children, they are considered to be immediate family members of PR or Canadian citizens. In a very small percentage of cases, they also consider grandchildren as well, but let's not go there as of now. So anyone who is an immediate family member of a PR or Canadian citizen, then they are eligible to come to Canada. Now, this exemption was already in place before all these announcements were made today on 20th of March 2020. The exemption for immediate family members was already in place a couple of days ago. So right now, from the different types of notifications that are there in front of us, what it means is uh, this deadline of 16th of March 2020 is not applicable to immediate family members of PR or Canadian citizens. So anyone who is not an immediate family member of a PR or Canadian citizen and you have received your PR application approval before 16th of March 2020, then yes, you are part of these exemptions. You can come to Canada. Also, as of now, they've not mentioned what should be the status of immediate family members, but as we all know, to enter Canada, you need to have valid documents. So the immediate family member may have a study permit or a work permit, or the person may have received their COPR documents as well. So they can complete their landing process if they have already received their COPR document and permanent resident visa, which is the single entry visa. So It's slightly confusing over here, but that's how the government has presented information, and I've tried to dissect different categories over here. So, if any of these exemptions are not applicable to you, then that means the travel ban on foreign nationals is applicable to you guys. And the end date towards this travel ban is June 30th of June 2020. And if you need the link towards the whole description of this notification, I have posted the links in the description box. Now, another important point to discuss here is this travel ban is on foreign nationals who are trying to take a flight to Canada, which opens up another question whether the person can enter Canada through the land border. So, right now, the status is both the countries, US and Canada, have announced that they are only going to allow essential travel between both the countries for people going back and forth between US and Canada. Now, the gray area right now is what is considered to be essential and what is considered to be non essential. So, the government today, on 20th of March 2020, when they announced these exemptions, they also announced that anyone who is going to enter inside Canada from the States with all these conditions applicable to them, then that is considered to be essential travel. So, yes, people can enter Canada from the land border. And there is another important element tied to this. In a separate notification, the government also says that anyone who is trying to enter Canada through the land border or trying to directly take a flight from states from US to Canada have to prove that they have been inside the states or in Canada in the last 14 days before entering Canada. That is another important thing that you have to consider as of now. Another extremely important thing, the government today announced all these exemptions, okay, most of these exemptions, but the government has also said that these exemptions are not yet implemented and they are going to be implemented in another 7 days. So I'm anticipating that before 27th of March 2020, these exemptions would be in place, and hence the Canadian government is also saying that all you guys who are part of these exemptions, do not try to come to Canada immediately. Wait for the next announcement. Do not try to rush to Canada immediately. Just wait for another 7 days, wait for the proper notification, then plan your travel. So that was the technical part, the first part of the video, which I wanted to share with you. If you still have any questions about this, post it in the comment section. I will try to answer them. If not, I will also try to make another video to clarify all the doubts. Now, let us talk about the second part, which is the do's and don'ts, which are based on my personal opinion. So if anyone was to come to Canada for the first time, my advice to them would be do your own research and then take a decision to come to Canada. Because, guys, most of you are currently, like, maybe you're just focusing on the immigration aspect, the immigration rules, and the challenges that you would face when taking a flight or coming down to Canada and stuff like that. But I still feel that a lot of people are currently ignoring the whole coronavirus situation that is happening around all of us. Now, if I were to speak of some numbers, today is 20th of March 2020. Just a few days ago, the number of cases, the number of coronavirus cases in Canada was below 300. And today, on 20th of March 2020, it is 971 as shown on the Canadian website. But if you track any of those live trackers that are available online, you would come to see that we have already crossed 1,000 corona cases inside Canada. And if you look at the top 3 provinces that have the maximum number of coronavirus cases are British Columbia, Ontario, and Alberta. So another question that you should be asking yourself is, where do most of the immigrants go when they land inside Canada? If you check the numbers and statistics, they either go to Ontario, British Columbia, or Alberta. Now, This is not something to demotivate you, but I'm just sharing all these details so that you can take an informed decision for yourself. Now, I can understand if anyone who is having ties to Canada, for example, someone who was already studying or working inside Canada, they have left Canada and were waiting to come back. I can totally understand that because uh, a lot of important things in their lives are dependent on the stuff that they were doing inside Canada. But for someone who is coming to Canada for the first time, if you are going to ignore all these facts about coronavirus, then that is not good, right? Uh, Also, if you do some research on your own about what the major hospitals inside all these cities like Vancouver, uh, Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, uh, Edmonton, just try to see what the doctors are saying in all these hospitals. One of the common things that you would observe is they have asked people not to step outside unless and until it is for an essential thing. They want people to just stay under isolation because, God forbid, if anything like Italy happens inside Canada, then the medical infrastructure is not enough to handle thousands of cases the same way it happened in Italy. So the medical infrastructure is not really capable of handling a high volume of patients. That is what the experts are saying now. And hence that they are asking all the people to take all the precautions that they can, anything to do that is in their control. In the last 24 hours, there have been 174 cases of coronavirus, new cases of coronavirus inside Canada. So just look at the rate at which the numbers are increasing every single day. Now, let us say you have your own reasons to come to Canada, which is fine. Uh, when you come to Canada, the government is asking everyone to self isolate themselves for 14 days. So it's very important you follow these instructions because a lot of people right now are not following that. And by not following all these instructions, you are indirectly affecting other people who are around you. Another thing for students is if you are thinking that you will come to Canada and start working part time right away for 20 hours per week, then guys, just keep in mind that you cannot start working part time until and unless you have initiated your full time studies at your college or university. And as of now, most of you know that the colleges and universities are closed. They are offering online courses. So just check the situation with your own college or university and then make your plans accordingly. I have also seen that students who come over here, they are heavily dependent on GICs. So when they come over here, they go to the banks to activate their GICs so that they can access money. So guys, in this situation, because the government is going to ask you to isolate yourself for 14 days, make sure that you have some cash in hand. Maybe $1,000 to $2,000. The maximum limit is $10,000, but just for survival, if you can make sure that you have some money like $500 to $1,000 to $2,000, so that you can survive for the initial 14 days, then that is going to help you eventually. And then after the 14-day isolation period, you can go to your banks and complete all the formalities and access your money. So that's it from my side, guys. The intention was not to scare you or negatively influence you, but just trying to make sure that you make your own research and then start working on your travel plans. Because the most important thing over here is to stay safe. So guys, if you found this content valuable and if you want to see more such videos coming in, then make sure that you scroll down and press the subscribe button and also the bell icon beside it. Take care and stay safe.